good afternoon, good evening, depending wherever you're domiciled. This is Radio Biafra USA 2. My name is Mazi. I hail from Newi, province of Biafra land. Alright, this morning, today is Wednesday, and the day for the Australians to come on board. So at this point, let me see if the guys are ready to ramble with us this morning. Alright, looks like. Let me join them. Hello, are you there? Are you guys there with me?
Yes, very well.
Okay, the line is over to you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, the world. Let's listen to the Australians. They're coming in today. It's nothing else to add to it, but welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you, Peter Syke. Biafrans and friends of Biafra, good evening from here. My name is Mazi, former. I welcome everybody to today's edition. Like we always, every Wednesday, we gather to talk to our people and discuss the current affair, the pillage that is before us as a race. And we discuss the way forward and the area things are impacting us in that contraction called zoo. And also try to expose the conspiracy of the West that are holding us down for years, that never wanted our progress. Rather, what they're after is to make sure that we remain in perpetual slave, that we will never ever grow. But before I commence, I would like to call upon the name of Chukwuka. Eze Chukwuka Abịama, anyị bụ ụmụ gị ekelekwa gị n'ụbọchị nke taata, anyị aja gị mma. Ezi onye nwe nna Chineke, anyị akpọkuo gị n'ụbọchị nke taata wee na-aja gị ka ị bịa nọnyekwana anyị. Nekwanụ nzukọ, nekwanụ okwu nke anyị chọrọ ikwu na redio Biafra n'ụbọchị nke taata, anyị na-asị gị bịa tinye anyị okwu n'ọnụ. Nekwanụ ka anyị kwuo okwu ndị ka ụmụ gị ghọtakwana ihe anyị na-akọwakwana. Ezi onye nwe nche okwu, nekwanụ nwa odibo gị bụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. Na ndị ụmụ gị ndị ọzọ nọ n'ụlọ mkpọrọ ọdịghị ha mere bụ ikwupụta okwu ọma ezi ọma gị wee na-asị gị chewekwana ha, nekwa n'aka ahụ ji ha nọ, nekwanụ nwa odibo gị enu ana agbalụ n'anya aka ebe na mmụọ ma na ife ekpe n'ikpe ya anụ nwa odibo gị meriri. Mana obodo a na-akpọ zoo Nigeria si na ha ya hapụ nwa odibo gị ka ọ na si na ha ya hapụ odibo ha, si na ha ya hapụ Biafra. Anyị na-asị gị ezi onye nwe m, ọnwụ nọ n'ezie na ọngụnwa kere n'igwe na ala na ihe niile kere n'aka gị ka o si wee bịa. Anyị na-asị gị ekwekwana ka ha ṅụrụ mmiri tọrọ ike anọ. Mekwanụ ndị mmadụ ji ha nọ ka ha wee jide onye ndu ka ihe ike na-eme ha na-eme ezinụlọ ha. Nekwanụ obodo niile na-agba mbọ tie aka n'ụzọ nzuzo were egwu ka anyị nwaghara na-eme ka emegide anyị, na-eme ka a daa anyị ka anyị nwaghara na anyị na-asị ezi onye nwe mmekwa ka obodo ndị iro obodo ahụ memina ha. Nekwana ihe nke ha na-adị ezuru na anaba anyị were aga na-edozibe ha. Anyị na-asị ka ọ bụrụ ihe ibe akwa. Ha tinye ya na ekọnọmi ha, ka ekọnọmi ha daa. Ihe ọ na ha ji eweme ka ọ bụrụ ihe akwa ụtụtụ ehihie abalị, ụbọchị eke, ụbọchị ori, ụbọchị afọ, ụbọchị nkwọ. Anyị na-asị ezi onye nwe nna Chineke, anyị nwabụ ụmụ gị, anyị ama ha, anyị na-asa ahụ n'afọ dịrọkwanụ nke anyị ma. Anyị na-asị nabatakwana ekpere anyị n'ụbọchị nke taata, maka ọkwana na eze gị ka anyị na-achọ. Na ọ dịghị anyị ejiri mma, anyị ejiri egbe. Ndị ire anyị ihe niile, ha ji ihe niile ọkwa na be anyị ka ha zutere wee were na-egbusi ụmụ gị. Anyị wee na-asị gị mezikwana anyị ebere, ịgbasizikwanụ nkịta, egbuchisikwanụ ụmụ gị, ezikwanụ ndị ga-efe gị ofufe, ka ezikwanụ ndị ga-alụrụ gị ụlọ nsọ gị a ebe anyị ga na-efe gị efufe ụbọchị ụtụtụ ehihie abalị, ụbọchị eke, ụbọchị ori, ụbọchị afọ, ụbọchị nkwọ. Anyị na-asị gị nye anyị mmeri I will merie ndị iro otu nwa odibo si wee kwu na Biafra ga-abụ ya tụ onye ọwụna ụjọ ụbọchị ọ ga-abịa onye ọwụna nwere onye ga-ama ụbọchị ọ ga-abịa anọ ya abụ the last miracle. Otu anyị si wee na-akpọkụ gị n'ụbọchị nke tata anyị na-ayọkwa na ị ga-esikwa otu azakwa anyị ekpere site n'afọ gị bụ nsọ Chukwu okike abịa ma wee na-asị ise ise ise. Dear friends, I want to talk. First of all, we start my topic today regarding our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a prisoner of conscience. He has done nothing. In Nigeria, the zoo, they connived with the foreign agents. They kidnapped him from Kenya and brought him back to Nigeria. Incarcerating him. It's approaching 2 years now. The whole idea for doing all these things is for them to be able to conduct the election. Their thought is IPOB will disrupt. We are anti-democracy. For every of their plan, for every of their thought is completely wrong. Not only that, they thought that it will be arresting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be a final straw to IPOB, final solution to get rid of us as a race, as a people. By doing that, they have already mapped out money through our Igbo people, including governors, including non-Igbos as well. They set up all these cells, sleeping cells. They inject into IPOB a couple of years back. Nurtured it, waiting perfectly to strike. And their striking is the same old trick. Because if you're into freedom fighting, you need to go and study how the nation you are fighting against, how they instigate a violent act to destroy you from within, including external force. Typical example is, you look at South Africa. Those of you that were young or remember the apartheid, you will remember how ANC, Nkata is fighting ANC, ANC is fighting Nkata, and other mushroom groups fighting one another instead of fighting against the apartheid. ANC happens to be the main party, the main group, leading group that Mandela was led before he was incarcerated for 27 years. They borrow the same love. But the difference between them is that South Africa, they are fighting against the black apartheid, white apartheid. But in our case, they use our own people. Some are the custodian, the chief security of the state. They instigated a bag, militia, killing, spreading money, using money to buy everybody that is on their path. Then they set up a data collection. Every mayhem, every killing that says IPOB, because they are using one stone to kill more than 10 birds. And they start up, they pump money into different groups to make sure they crush IPOB, to make sure they crush DOS. Allegation from left, allegation from right, allegation from middle, killing, mayhem. They are brown envelope journalism in Nigeria carrying the news. IPOB killed this, IPOB bought it, IPOB did this, IPOB did that. Because they are on a mission to collect, to damage the image of IPOB, and then present to the world, is it this man you want us to release? He's dangerous. Look at what IPOB is doing in Biafra land. Then IPOB turn around and ask our people, can we kill the people that we are protecting? Can we kill ourselves that we try to protect from the zoo government? The answer is no. You know, everything has expired date. The secret will become open. Not so long, their secret was exposed, including those that they are channeling money to. One of them now is serving, I'm not sure how many years is he serving in UK. Many of them, they channel money to these useless groups that are causing mayhem in Biafra land, tagging it, saying it's IPOB, whatever, that their name doesn't worthy to mention in this radio, to instigate massive violence, so that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will never see the day of life, including those that are close to him. Including those that are close to him. Many of them were recruited, many of them were spies that he's dining with to collect information, to make sure they kill this struggle. But little did they know that IPOB is built upon the name of Chukwu Kabiama. No man that born for a woman will be able to destroy it. They continue. Let Mbazurika Amechi lead a delegate, the others in the community, to go and talk to Buhari, imposter, to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to hand in his son so he can go on with him. The imposter said, let us allow the court to carry out their duty. In Rwanda, former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson raised the matter. The imposter Buhari said to allow the Judicial Department to carry out their duties. Behold, we went to High Court, and all the charges of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu were acquitted and discharged, never to be tried in that country, because he did nothing wrong. While all these things is going on, the agents, they are paying money and keep on killing our people in our land, tagging it IPOB. And the zoo, Lai Mohammed and the co, they are taking the image, going from State Department to UK, Home Office to the whole world, to UN, say, look at it. IPOB is killing their own people. These are the people that you want to give freedom. These are the people that are saying they want freedom. They are killing themselves. And many of you they are supporting these criminals, even giving them money. You are shooting yourself on the foot. IPOB is only one. Any other person outside, they are criminal, those that are killing our people. You can go and have your own group. But when you start to cause havoc on our people, you are a terrorist. You are the agent. IPOB is here to protect the life and property of Biafrans. IPOB is not in the business of killing their own people. And IPOB is a peaceful movement. It's never part of us. And it will never be. The people the zoo paid are carrying out the killing in our land. They are doing everything to tag IPOB a terrorist, to tarnish our image, and see where we are today. One great achievement, may his name May the name of Chukwuka be praised, because all the plans of the enemy, they incarcerate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because their desperation is to make sure there is no interference to the election. Little did they know that Chukwuka have a different plan. P2B, PDP didn't pick a P2B joined Labour after he came back from 10 down the street from UK and then joined the Labour Party. The Biden movement start. Election were hold. People voted for Biden. They don't see this thing coming. There is no one will be able to salvage that country. And just I need to conclude, sir, we get paved way to my comrade to speak. My point this evening is no one will be able to salvage that country. You ask people to come out to vote, and the youth came out to vote. You deny them their right. My question to American government, to State Department is, you spend millions of dollars. You say you are promoting democracy in Africa, free and fair. All of us subscribe to democracy. Democracy is in our DNA. We are the first people to start practicing democracy. Let the will of the people be given to the people. We do not believe in Nigeria, but at least let the will of the people be honored. Otherwise, there is nothing you can tell over 100 millions or more than 100 millions of the Nigerians that you are promoting democracy. Then we see all of you as a part of the problem, because all of you are ganging up to protect stop the will of the people. People have elected. The last time people tried to elect their preferred leader was in June 12th, 1993, when Abiola won. And they denied him his mandate. The same thing is happening now. Let the will of the people be honored. The world is fast changing. Africans, their eyes are opening. What happened 10 years ago may not be possible to happen again. And Biafra did a referendum. Biafra do not need to be part of this. We are more than a nation. Then the next thing I want to touch is on the census. Census is coming. It's very, very important. While we still fighting to exit that contraction, is as well very, very important. Census is very, very important for a lot of reasons. One is our location. You know, they said our land, our population is very small. Nobody is in our land. Then we are fighting for our freedom. Let us go, Biafra. They say you are not going to go. You must remain as Nigeria. During the election, people want to go and get their PVC. They say, no, you don't. Yeah, you can't get your PVC. During the election, he said, no, because you're Biafran, you can't vote. Now is the time of census. So we must all go back home. Let nobody cast any census outside Igbo land. If you cannot, this is my own, if you cannot travel, do not participate in any census outside Biafra land. Travel back to Biafra land. Count. Let your name be count. Let us show them that we are the people that owns that country with our own willing. with our own power. We shall be free. We are free people. Like I said earlier, they use our own people to kill us. Remember this. No foreigners will ever defeat us in our land. It has never happened. It's we that always defeat ourselves and pave the way for the foreigners. Like we always said, Arochukwu you see today that failed. He failed because we are the people that killed our own and paved the way for the British Empire, African frontier to come in as well and then help and then finish up what left of us. The same thing is happening today. Who are sabotaging what we are doing? Our own people. There are some people that is in their own DNA. It's very, very important we study history. History is repeating itself as we speak. So are we going to make the same mistake? Are we going to do something different to get different results? I know we understand. We are going to do something different so that we can get a different result. If you go back and trace, you find out those people, their father were saboteurs that betrayed all the way from Arochukwu and to the Biafran war. You will find out from the same root, the same people are now betraying what we are doing. Some are sleeping cells, passing information of what we are doing to the enemy to make sure we are not free. I don't know why we can't get it. Don't you know if you are not free, you go into extinction? Can't you see it? The funny part is at the end of the day, they do not love you. They will treat you like they treat others. You are nothing to them. Before them, you are saboteur. Yes, I repeat it. Before them, you are a saboteur. You betray your own people. If you can betray your own people, who else wouldn't you betray? If you have opportunity, you will betray us as well. This is how they think. Throughout my life, those that I know that are agent or spies and all those things, this is how they get treated. I remember those days. I wouldn't name the country. Our people are working as agents for the government, and then they will send their own people home. At the end, they will go and pick them and deport them as well. Say, you are dangerous. You cannot be in our country. If you can go and point your brothers and sisters, and then we deport them, then we don't trust you. It doesn't matter. Our leader always say it day in, day night, each time on this program. It doesn't matter what you do. They will never love you. They will never love you. At the end, they will disappoint you. The earlier we realize it and continue to support this IPOB, fighting for the release of our leader and for the coming of Biafra. Because it's so dead. If Biafra didn't come, Chukwuokabem will destroy everything on this earth. Go and mark it. It's not me that is saying. That is his word. Biafra must be restored. The earlier we realize it. The funny thing there is, the people that we as a people don't even think. We don't even sit for a second and ponder why all these things are happening to us. From 16 something or 17 something, they sold us enslaved to America. We build America. We build Europe. Or they send us to Caribbean. We build the Caribbeans. From the same bite of Biafra, we make up 60% of the slave. Every other nation, they slave, they are independent, they are ruling themselves. Only we, these small, tiny people, we are still fighting for our freedom. In 1967, they massacred us. The whole world joined together. At the peak of Cold War, USSR, the West, British, they make sure they crush these small people. If we as a people, that we have brain, that our thinking faculty is working, that our brain actually have some element in it, we should have gone and then study who we are. Why all these things are happening to us? Why are they hell-bent to hold us that we are not going to be free up to this very second? They are doing everything possible. Why? I ask. Why? Go and find out why. Because all of us don't know. What we are is just a noisemakers. Go and drink four bottles of beer, and then snort now. Then they come and burn you and cut off your neck, destroy your property. You pack go village. I say it's your village people that is doing you. I have to stop here. I have to hand the microphone. Mazek, and if you're here, I'll hand the mic to you. Thank you. It's Mazek, and here. Yes, we cannot hear. We cannot hear you.
Yes, Mazi. Thank you for your talk this night, and thank you for giving us this opportunity once more. Um, our brother Mazi is having some technical issues. His number just dropped, so maybe we'll continue while he gets that done. Listeners, tonight's broadcast, we thank you for always making our time to listen to us. And we are coming from Australia, and we have our broadcasters coming up every week to talk to you that are at home. And this is an opportunity for us to magnify our voices so that you can learn and understand the vision of IPOB. IPOB is a movement that is propelled by vision, and we have a mission statement. We are not just here to make noise. We have a plan, and we are working assiduously to make our plan, to bring it to fruition. If Mazi is back, please can you take over the mic and talk to our people? Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi. Can you hear me?
I can now. Yes.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Mazi. I was gonna say you can continue, and I will come after you. All right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I will make it brief tonight. I just want to talk to our people about what I would caption realizing the mistake of yesteryears. One of the problem that our people are having is that we go around in circles without trying to pinpoint the mistakes of yesteryears. It's just like a child going to school and you failed a class, and then you are not able to know why you failed the class. It means you will repeat the class the following year, you will fail again, and then you will repeat the class in the years to come. And then it will become a culture of failure, that either you continue in that same spot or you withdraw from school. And this is what our people are going through. The mistakes of yesteryears has kept us at the place we are. First, I would like to give the example. Today in Africa, in all the continents of the world, it's only in Africa that Africans live under a geographical mapping that wasn't done by them. Most of us listening to me tonight, I am my fellow Kana, the boundaries of your village. If you come to your village, you know the boundaries. You go. If you are going, you say, okay, this is where Obiago stops. This is where Uruago starts. This is where Otolo starts. This is where Ichi starts. And then when you get to all of these villages, every family knows and understands their landmark, the mapping of their land. Now, it is only in Africa, in the whole world, that you see people living in landmass that wasn't defined by them. This happened in the 1885, where people found land and said, we are going to divide these people amongst ourselves, for our benefit, so we don't encroach and start fighting each other. And what were they partitioning? Africa, the land mass of Africa. Were there Africans in that meeting? No. Was the land being divided amongst these people belonging to them? No. But still today, you have Africans fighting to keep that scramble that happened in faraway Germany, in faraway Berlin. The mistake of yesteryears. That is too much to talk about. Now we come to Nigeria. The same thing happened in Nigeria. It started with the protectorates, the northern and the southern. And people never wanted to know, why are we being partitioned? Why are we given a new name? Why is this happening to us? It is just like someone coming up to your village today and saying, oh, all the people from Ichi and Ojoto, you are now one people. There is nothing like Ojoto. There is nothing like Ichi anymore. You are one town. It will be an aberration for the people of that village not to look in disdain. It's an anomaly for that to happen, and they do not cry out. But this is the situation that we are living in today. You might ask me and say, oh, land has always been there, and it has had different names at different times. And I will say to you, who gave it the name prior to the seeding, prior to this whole charade of scramble. The people gave names to their cities, and they gave names that represented who they were to keep their towns. Today, you can go to Onitsha and ask, when was this name Onitsha given? No one will tell you the name, the time it was given. You will go to Obusi and ask, and they will tell you the history coming from the people of Obusi, why they named their place Obusi. You will go to Nanka and they will tell you why they are called Nanka. What is the difference, you might ask me? Your name depicts your story. A name given to you depicts the idea or the knowledge or the recognition accorded to you by an external being. If I capture you at war, I will not come and call you warrior. I will call you one hand. Or maybe I will call you, if I used an arrow to kill you, I will say arrow. Just to remind me that it was by the arrow that I got you. Now it is not telling your story. It is telling my story. And this is the mistake of the years past that we have run with. We've continued with this for years and years and years. And it has affected the way we see ourselves. It has affected the way that we know our identity. It has changed and transformed to the negative our ideological conception about our identity, our real identity. Believe you me, if Biafra is not restored, in coming years, people will cease to answer Igbo people because of the negative attachment that will be to it. Because there is no profit in saying you are an Igbo. It's already happening. You have people from Igbo tribe changing their names because they cannot secure a job. You have people living outside of Igbo land who now transform their way of talking, their language, their dressing, even the food they eat. Let's not talk about the culture. No one's practicing the culture anymore. And coupled with with what we are going through now, the subjugation, the deprivation, people will say, no, if it's to be Igbo that will make me not to get a job, I rather jettison that name. And that is how it will die off. And this is the development that continues. Because once a problem starts, if it's not checkmated, it grows into bigger problems. It snowballs into a bigger problem that becomes unsurmountable. And what will people do to veer off that problem? Because no one will be able to challenge it. And this is why we are making a clarion call to every person who still believes in the power of identity, who still recognizes that the blood that flows in you is the blood of your ancestors that is worth preserving. That the life you live today, people fought to give you that life. People made sacrifices. People forgo opportunities in order to bring you to a place you are today. The moment we realize that the task given to us, if we fail, it will not only affect us as an individual, it will affect us as a group, as a nation. And not just us, but our posterity. This is why we need every person to think back to the years gone past. What are the mistakes we've made as a people? What are the mistakes that we overlooked? What are the ideas that were planted around our climb that we overlooked? They were planted as seeds. They've gone for 20 years. They were planted as ideas. They've gone for 40 years. And today, they are big trees bearing fruit. And the sufferings we are going through today are the fruits of these trees that we overlooked. Let's look to politics. What are the mistakes of yesteryears that we made? In the 60s, we made a big mistake. In 57, we were told to be free as a people. We refused and said we wanted to wait for the people of the North to get ready so that we can be Nigeria. That is the mistake. That tree was planted. Till today, we are suffering from it. In the 1919s, we had the people coming into our place, establishing churches that had no respect for our culture, the values of our people, the essence of our life. Today, those people that brought Christianity to us, today, they are trying to bring forms of sexual practices that are inimical to our corporate existence. Those same people that told you you cannot marry two wives, today they are telling you you can marry your phone, you can marry an animal, you can marry whatever you want to marry. The family values that we cultivated, that we had, we cherished, all were bastardized, destroyed. And today, there is no value for family. There is no value placed on husband, wife, children. Zero value. Actually, in today's world, you pay more for being married and you get more for being a single parent. Where is that taking you? To choose single parenthood, because there is more gain to it in the society of today. In the aspect of religion, we devalued our spirituality, the essence of Chukwu Okike Abiama, the knowledge of the Creator. We devalued it and took up figment of our imaginations because we believed that there is a white man up there building castles for us that we will go and live in when we died. And today, what has happened to our society? It has been bastardized. We left the principles of hard work, the principles of responsibility, which were the guiding values of the Igbo society, and we believed in miracle and prayer. And in today's world, they ask you, have you prayed? Do you believe in miracle? No one will ask you, have you worked on this? Are you responsible to make sure that you achieve this success? You see how we planted trees years to years that are today bringing forth fruits that are destroying our society. And this is why we bring to you the message to look into your life, look into facets of your life, and see the mistakes that you have made in the yesteryears. In the first time, they came as Mwadisi. Today, they are the politicians. Back in the days, the district coordinators, or what do they call them, were tools used by the colonialists to manipulate the environment. They understood the language. They were riffraffs. They were people of no conscience, of no people that were ostracized from their communities. And the colonialists brought them to use them to manipulate the society and change narrative in the society. Today, you have the politicians playing the same role. Either they are being used for their selfish gain, or they are being used by the North, or they are being used by external powers, like we saw in the last election. Now, these are trees bearing fruits. What am I saying? If we do not work to cut down these trees today, those mistakes, today there are few trees. In the coming years, they will make a forest, and that will stifle the growth, the existence. Our primordial values are gone. I don't even want to get into that. But they will stifle and extirpate the essence of our identity. Because today, most of you will remember, a couple of years ago, we were shouting, how can you do a traditional marriage at Abuja? How can you do a traditional marriage in a land that is not yours? How is it even possible? How can you even think of it? Today, it is becoming a culture. People even go, and they are happy to go to do traditional marriage in a foreign land against the cultures of the people. I'm telling you, in the coming years, if things are not corrected, this will go overboard and will become more problem. Finally, I want to advise our people that if you do not fight for what is rightfully yours, listen carefully. If you do not fight for what is rightfully yours today, tomorrow will come for sure. Tomorrow must come. And people will not recognize that that thing was your property. They will see the person holding it and believe that that person is the rightful owner. And what happens? It becomes too late for you to fight for it. If you do not fight for that pen that is yours or was yours on Tuesday, and you left it in the hands of another person, Wednesday must come. Nothing will stop Wednesday from coming. Thursday will come. And when you ask for that pen back, people will say, why are you asking for his pen? This is his pen now, a pen that I saw him holding the other day. He wrote with this pen. He will show you what he has written with the pen. And it will become harder for you to prove that this pen we are talking about now belongs to you. That it belongs to you. So I'm sounding it as a warning to all our people that believe that problems solve itself. No. Problems do not solve itself. If we do not fight for this, our identity today, tomorrow, it will be lost identity and it will become the property of another people. They will hold it, cherish it. People in that dispensation will come to know them as the owners of that property. And that is the end. To give you an example, I was on social media a few weeks ago and I read a comment. Someone said, oh, there was nothing like Biafra before 1967. It was just during the war that Ojukwu declared Biafra. Why was he saying that? Because that's the first time he heard about the name Biafra. That is the first time. He thought, oh, it was just manufactured by Ojukwu at that point in time. And then now you have to convince him you have to prove to him that this name existed almost before the formation of England. About 500 years ago. And he will ask you for proof. Why? Because people did not fight for it to keep it. Now they believe otherwise. So what I'm saying to our people, if you think Biafra is a lost cause, just know that the same way we are fighting to restore Biafra, if you do not join forth to restore our nation in the coming years, there will not be anything like Igbo. If you think Igbo will last forever, no. It will be destroyed as well. Because it has a snowball effect. The problem keeps compounding. It keeps compounding and compounding and compounding until the agendists achieve the agenda. So it's left for us to embrace the fight, look into, have a retrospective look, and recognize the mistakes that we've made and that we are making today, so that we can save ourselves, so that we can salvage the situation and restore the dignity and the identity of our nation. Thank you, Mazi. I will stop here for now. Thank you very much. God bless Biafra.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you very much for a powerful speech. I think it's quite important that our people understand why we actually do this every Wednesday. It comes from a conviction that this is urgent. It is urgent that we call our people together. It is urgent that we secure our freedom. It's the freedom of us, but also freedom of our generation. The Bible says, "Afa mefuna, afa ya manfu, afa ndi Igbo amanfu, oke ya manfu, odo go fubere." So it's a fight we are on. It's very sad that a lot of people do not realize this. So to start with, I'll just thank you, Mazi, for delivering that. And I would like to introduce myself because I was gonna come in and had a moment of technical difficulty. I would like to greet all of you, IPOB all over the world. Greet all you Biafrans, wherever you're joining us tonight. We always enjoy your presence, your audience. It means a lot to us. There is a reason why we come here every Wednesday night to share this moment with you. And it's always a pleasure sharing our thoughts, our ideas, and with everyone that's tuning in around this time. I would like to thank our host tonight, Mazi Peters, for giving us this opportunity again to be back on air. Now I would like to also thank my contributors, my participants, colleague tonight. I would like to call on Mazi Silas to make his speech, and then I will come back on with summary and conclusion. Mazi Silas, if you're ready, please.
Thank you, Mazi. Thanks so much for coming back on. I greet our rep, Mazi Ofoma, my colleagues, our host today, Mazi Peter, and all our listeners out there. We thank you very much, and pray for your continued support. Here in Radio Biafra, we strive for excellence in our little way or ways to provide our people the voice. Whatever you hear from us is sincerely a well-reasoned opinions that surround the way we feel and what is happening in our land. Currently, the killing of unarmed Biafrans that protested recently in Aba still sits in our mind, still sits in our head. We cannot fathom how young people who are protesting for the release of our leader, who also have been acquitted by high courts in Nigeria, including the Supreme Court, the Nigerian government, with their dark mind, with their wickedness, are still holding him for no reason, even when they have committed an international crime by extraordinarily renditioning him back to Nigeria without allowing the normal process of presenting someone to the court, seeking that permission from the country of host to bring the person home. Nigerian government broke those international rules, and in law they say, even in a gentleman's approach, he who goes to seek justice should be just themselves. He who goes for equity must go with clean hands. Nigeria is a devilish entity. There is nothing clean about Nigeria. The way the nations were forced to be together and the way the nation has been run since then. The killings of our young men who were just marching and demonstrating, causes lots of untold, discomfort in our psyche, and it goes to confirm that we do not belong in Nigeria. And we hope that our people, or those who are still thinking of Nigeria becoming good, should wake up to this situation, should wake up from their slumber and know that they are still in the land of enemy. Nigeria as a country or as an entity is still behaving like the enemy to people of Biafra, which they claim to be their citizen. So this confirms our quest to be out of Nigeria. You don't kill your people. You don't kill people who are just protesting. They are protesting peacefully. They are not destroying anything. If you want to stop them, you might as well tell them to stop. You can fire tear gas, they call it, to signal that you don't want them to gather. But no, they went straight to the highest approach of killing the people. I wonder who gives such order. I wonder who commands them to shoot at sight. And our people are still not aware of it, or not conscious that the land, the country they are claiming to be in, wants them out of this planet. So it is a continuation of the plan to keep Biafrans down and out completely. And the bloodletting is too much. The Nigerian land is saturated with Biafran bloods. Those who are supposed to react as our relatives, as our defense, are still sitting quietly, unperturbed, and irresponsive, forgetting that their inaction is an approval of the killings, and also their inaction is an invitation for more killings of Biafrans. So when the question is, when will Biafran elites and Biafran leaders wake up? The entity called Nigeria is evil. It's not just evil to Biafrans, it's evil to humanity, because any evil, any unjust situation made on any human being is unjust situation made to all. It is supposed to be one nation, but it is not. Nigeria is supposed to be a nation that protects its citizens, but it doesn't. Nigeria practices apartheid. The same practice South Africans suffered in the hands of the invading whites for many years. The segregation of Biafrans has increased astronomically. It has just, the manifestation is just trickling down, but it has gone beyond what it used to be. Our people are still, sleeping. The evidence is there. Before, during, and after the last election, all the processes that should be free and fair, all the processes that should accommodate all, wherever they live, were all, kind of put in place to suppress Biafrans. When they talk about voter suppression, when you listen to the Nigerian media, when they talk about voter suppression, they are not explicit. They can't say who is being suppressed and who is suppressing who. The people that are being suppressed are Biafrans. And some Biafrans are paid to implement the suppression. And those who are paid to do that cannot be classified as Biafrans because they have been compromised and they have taken the sides of the enemy. It does happen. You see it everywhere around the world. But those who believe in what should be done should quickly step on one side, should step on the side of IPOB, the only group that has a vision to separate ourselves, to liberate ourselves from all the clutches of hatred and segregation that we are suffering in Nigeria. So Biafrans should wake up. They should stand up and join IPOB, as I said. This quest for freedom is the only thing that would continue our lineages. I will repeat, this quest for freedom, when we succeed, will be the only thing will continue our lineages where our ancestors lived. Otherwise, we will be like a spoon, or call it a basin of salt, scattered around the ocean. We will simply melt and dissolve into other communities. How? I'll give an example. A young Biafran boy between 25 and 30, for example, travels to somewhere, Germany, with our looks, with our strength, with our intelligence, and with our industriousness, we will find a job, even if it is cleaning. And our limits are not limited. Our neighbors in Nigeria have known us. Where we clean as a laborer or as a sweeper, call it anything, they usually identify those inalienable natural gifts that we are made of. We will also ascend to whatever position that their mind would allow them to let us get to. So, this young Biafran who worked as a laborer will be seen by people. Eventually, that Biafran might probably fall in love with a lady, start having children. Once you start having children, your ability to quickly move from one place to another will reduce, because you got to cater for your family. And we do that very well. Once you start having family, you start building around there and settling down properly. And when you do, you have a life there. We don't usually leave our children easily. And once you're there, you are not at home. You can't be at two places at the same time. This is the situation. And when we start living there, our brothers might have gone to another country or city around the world. That is what I mean by we will dissolve into other communities. And as we leave, our compounds back in Nigeria becomes vacant. Vacant, really. Those things that we could do, those track roads that we normally go to get to our farm will close, because there isn't footsteps that keep it that keeps it open. There is no one that looks after it or cuts the grass or keeps the road open. Most of those roads are no longer roads. Most of those track roads have closed in our place. That is the beginning of closure of a people. And I do not blame our people, because there are people in the Nigerian government, and I also suspect outside the Nigerian government, who can see what is happening and who are part of the program to starve the Biafra, the southeastern region, of infrastructure, to starve them of jobs, to keep them out of federal government jobs, to burn their markets. And when you render people jobless, they become desperate. They will take any option that comes their way. They will leave the environment. And when they leave the environment, they dissolve into other communities. That is what I'm talking about. Those who stay back may end up actually dying out of hunger. Go and check it. Even though there's no statistics, there are more people who have died since in the first 3 quarters in Nigeria, because of hunger, starvation, increased by desperation at a point, people who have money could not access their money. People who need to pay deposits to be treated in hospitals could not do that. I saw videos of mothers crying because what could they do with 2,000 that the banks were giving them? It couldn't buy part of what they would use to make one meal in the morning or in the afternoon. So these things happened. And those who are hit more are those who do not live in their ancestral homes. When our parents, I will use myself as an example, my teacher parents were not paid. They survived for more than 6 months, 8 months until they get paid. How? Because they live on their own soil. They could put crops, use the crops to buy certain things that they need until they get paid. So our people have been tactically displaced within Nigeria by starving the entire southeast of one, good leadership, two, infrastructures, and you talk about job creation. Most Nigerian leaders do not know what job creation is. It is what people would have to know how to do before they aspire to lead, and not aspire to lead because it is your turn or because you are part of the cabal. But I feel sorry and I feel sad for people, the way we're being killed, segregated, and disenfranchised. And when I look at it, it increases my resolve to work hard within IPOB to make sure that we achieved our vision. Our vision is not an impossible one. Our vision is actually the right thing for any person to think of if they are facing the same situation we are facing. We're not one country. We are not. I mean, since the amalgamation, there haven't been anything to show that we are one. So we need to free ourselves to save our race, to save the Igbo blood, to save the Igbo, tribe, call it. We need to free ourselves. Most tribes in Nigeria hate Biafrans. That is a fact. That was actually revealed. They hate Biafrans and Biafran relatives, those who are our relatives. I'll use that word because there are our relatives who think they are something different. They are same, but we call them our relatives. The hatred, experienced since the amalgamation, hasn't stopped. It has led to mass killings of Biafrans in the 50s, in the 60s. The genocidal war that happened between 1967 and 70, and the hatred recently was mildly articulated as Ibophobia by the former President Obasanjo, and he ended it politely by saying that how do you treat this Ibophobia? You treat it with goodness. I disagree. Igbos have been treating it with goodness for many years, and the hatred insists. If somebody hates you for the way you look, you shouldn't give a damn. If somebody hates you for who you are, for your industriousness, for your looks that are admired by others, for your intelligence. You shouldn't sit back and reduce your intelligence. No, you shouldn't give them the whole time in the world to come and cut your head. You find your way out of their vicinity. You find your freedom. You look after your people who are also hated. You get out. And that is what IPOB is saying. We want to get out of Nigeria, and we want to do it by referendum. The doors or the door of the referendum is closing. A time will come, like one of the pastors says, we will not be asking them for referendum. We want to sort it out peacefully. We want to do it in such a way that everybody will be happy. However, I might add, going by the way Nigeria conducts its election, Nigeria will not be the one conducting that referendum because they don't know how to count. They deliberately decide not to know how to count. They are liars. They cannot say the truth. They cannot see white and call it white. They cannot see black and call it black. And it's also part of the reason why Nigeria has not developed. Imagine a country that with the abundance resources it has, and yet it cannot, when it's trying to conduct a simple election, a simple counting, it requires European nations to give them 5 million pounds or whatever. 5 million pounds out of the offshore oil that they drill for 1 second. Is that what they're giving you to conduct an election? Nigeria is not trained or hasn't got the skill to even go to get out of the shores, to go to the waters and see what the Europeans are doing there. The oil they are drilling from Nigeria is what is sustaining the entire Europe. They should listen and listen clearly. And that is how they're giving you 5 million pounds or $5 million to conduct an election that is simply count the number of people that turned out to any polling booth and report exactly how many that turned up. It's not a rocket. It's not even, it's ordinary addition. It's simply addition and subtraction. That's what they couldn't do. And they know Biafrans have professors in mathematics, statistics around the world. I can't find any reason why we should be in that country. Conclusively, I will repeat and conclude. When you are standing tall, when you know that you are not committing any crime, when you know that you are elegant in your ways, and those around you do not like you, do not like your ways, the best thing to do is to walk away from that vicinity. Translate it to the situation of Biafra in Nigeria. They do not like us. Let us use the word, the Biafra phobia. They don't like us. If they don't like us, what are we doing there? Why are we electing to go and clean up their mess? Nigeria is a mess. Why do you want to go and clean up a mess made by those who hate you when you can go back to your house and fix it? Why? This is why we are puzzled by the behavior of most of our people still shouting one Nigeria. It is one messed up Nigeria that hates Biafra. We should get out of it. The sooner we do, the better for us. Thank you very much.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Mazi. Silas. I like the question you posed to all of us. What is it that is holding us? Every time we're fighting to make Nigeria better, we are assuming a position of weakness. There is no virtue in being weak. There is no virtue. Even the greatest philosopher, Aristotle, Socrates, I think it was actually, said there is no weakness. There's no virtue in assuming weakness. It's not a virtue that you're weak. You can be strong. Strength is a sign of virtue. Weakness is not. Weakness is not. The way Nigeria is arranged, we are assuming all the time we're presenting position of weakness. And that's why we're treated the way we are being treated. It's time to stop. You know, we have, as Silas already touched, it's a big problem that we have. What people do not understand is what we're doing now. Our fathers have done this, or they've tried. Some of them have tried, in all honesty. Majority of them didn't give it down. Look at where they are now. Look at where we are. Some of us have got kids. Very soon they will still be out on the street protesting for a better Nigeria. It is what you want. You want generation after generation trying to maintain and develop what was a consequence of your people's exploitation through colonialism. Nigeria was a result of colonialism. Yes, we all know that. But why is it that you are dying? Why is it you're depriving yourself of the greatest opportunity, which is freedom? Freedom to develop yourself, freedom to enjoy this life. Why is it we're depriving ourselves all of this just for the sake of maintaining colonial legacy? Why do we want Nigeria to continue to exist? Because the problem is, we are the problem. For a long time, I do not criticize people that treat us bad. I don't. And I have my reason for that. I don't go online fighting people because they say something bad about Igbo people. Because if you odeginjo, then you act. Odeginjo, act. Take a better option. Because you have the freedom to do, you are tolerating this. We've tolerated this for so long that it's become, almost some people are seeing it as a virtue, but it's not virtue. There's no virtue in weakness. There is no virtue in weakness. We allow ourselves to be exploited in Nigeria and to be treated like people with no dignity. So we can't turn back and complain. In fact, I do not understand why people go online and attacking people because they said something. Those are people that have they've let go. They've said it. But this is what everyone knows. This is what they've all had in their minds. They can come out and join you and say LOP. But in their hearts, they do not want you. They don't want Igbo person to be the president of Nigeria. They don't want the leadership of that country to be at the hands of Igbo people. They don't want you people to actually get any better politically and economically. They don't want that. It's a big deception called Nigeria. And it just doesn't stop amazing me how people just believe it. You live in a delusion and you want every other person, like people get suddenly offended and surprised that they are being targeted by those who seek to destroy their character, People get offended because all of a sudden they realize that they are being persecuted. People get surprised and shocked because they've just suddenly realized themselves have become victims of injustice. But this is what IPOB have been suffering. This is why we are being killed. For how many years? Even last week, people were murdered. There was a mass killing, institutionalized killing, killing with a government seal, killing with a state seal, greatest injustice under the international law. Is it that you do not know that Igbo people have no place in Nigeria? And the president of your beloved Nigeria, everyone is talking about Nigeria, the corruption of the is it today you know that elections in Nigeria are never fair? Oh, they cheated somebody, everybody voted for him. Is it today? If you were alive in 1993, I believe it was, you would have heard about Abiola, sorry. Our people in Lagos and all over the entire Nigeria, most, especially in Yorubaland, they all ran. Everybody ran back home and spent months in the East. I remember growing up and my elderly relatives, they all came back, they all returned due to Abiola conflict. There was a man as popular as the man you have today, and the people were on his side. What happened? He was a victim. He ended up as a victim of the system they are trying to maintain. Because there are people who are actively working against the betterment of the system you find yourself in. They do not want Nigeria to get any better. Because this is bad business. It is a bad business strategy to point Nigerian people to the direction whereby they can make their life, change their life, and make their country work for them. There are countries that are benefiting from the chaos, from the mess you are living in. There are individual so-called statesmen, those in the politics or the political leadership. They are benefiting from your suffering, including the religious leaders, so-called leaders. They are milking your situation. It breaks I just can't, I don't get it. Because we keep saying the same thing, but you can't say the same thing all over again. And you can't do the same thing all over again. We are repeating our actions in equal proportion, if not proportionately more than ever. And we are repeatedly getting the same results. The same results, not to our advantage, but actively working against us, to our detriment. People are milking your situation, and yet every time you want to go out and vote, I always go back to this because I don't understand what is it that you wanting to vote. Our leader always says, oh, injustice this year, oh, election was for, when you get election, and we're injustice. Have we ever had election? It makes me question at what point people become socially critical. At what point they develop their political consciousness in Nigeria. Because what is happening is a reflection of people who could not think, or who couldn't think properly, let's say. And that's why you're making these mistakes. The mistakes you're making are reflections of your bad thinking or inability to properly think, constructively think. Why are we letting the situation and economic environment. Why? Why are we not invented to save the lives of people around that part of the world? And this theory has been flawed from beginning. This theory has been ineffective from beginning. Tell me, would there still be any life? Would there still be anybody alive where we come from? And yet, even though this is, I'm speaking, how you say, figuratively, but it is also true, literally. Nigeria is an invention, a colonial invention. It was out of fury and out of merriment of your colonial masters, colonial exploitators. Now they say, oh, we have to create these people, we have to give them this name, so we have to take proper ownership of this part of the world. On behalf of the Queen, you were put together and you were compelled, historically compelled, to remain in this suffering situation and not being able to undo this mess yourself, as it has been so evidently true. You were put in this whole situation in the name of the Queen of England and the Kingdom of England. The monarchy, the English monarchy, has you as a reflection of their sovereignty across the world, in particular in West Africa. The colonial conquering was about extension of hegemony, of control, of sovereignty. The problem, though, is there are many of us today. There are people who have gone to universities and they come out and they start to talk about Nigeria. Oh, we have no other country but Nigeria. Are you kidding me? As Mazi asked, you have no other country. You never had a country. You do not have, you belong to nowhere at the moment. What you have is a colony, yes, a piece of Britain. You are still technically into slavery. You are still technically into slavery. They may call you a country, but you're not. There is no nationhood. And that is why state is not working in Nigeria. The state of Nigeria is a failed state. Because you need a reality of nationhood as the basis for statehood. There has to be a permanent people, permanent population. In Nigeria, are we permanent? Is it a permanent population that we got in Nigeria? No, it's not. You got Hausa people. You got Fulanis. You got all these people championing different ideologies on the basis of their own cultural values. And unfortunately, we are meant to pretend to live like we are one, which we are not. And the problem is, we've accepted this reality, this falsehood, for so long that a lot of people are starting to live like these lies have become true over time. And this is sad. It's more even sad when you watch people who you think they are learned, you think they're educated, and they are writing on the globally, and they are sharing their stupidity across the world. Everybody's reading about them. The letter of Chimamanda Adichie is a bold one, but it's filled with foolishness. Because what is it you're arguing? You're arguing that the person you voted cheated, he was cheated out. There was you're trying to convince the American government that there was manipulation, there was deception, it was fraudulent, the electoral process. Has there been any integrity about Nigerian electoral process in the first place? She's our sister. Yeah, it's good. She spoke her, and the person in question, Peter Obi, is our brother. Yeah, but this is why we do not develop. Where was Chimamanda Adichie when our people are being slaughtered for protesting with no guns? Nothing. Innocent people are being murdered because they are standing up to ask for their right to express to the democratic principles. People were trying to embrace democracy by standing up and saying, we would want our own country based on these facts. Protest is allowed in democratic states. That is free speech. Where was this our sister? Why wasn't she, or why hasn't she been writing and condemning all these chain of atrocities happening? Chain of human rights abuse, using her position and all of them, others in those that have those kind of so-called recognized international position or influence. Why? Where was this lady when our leader was arrested, ordinarily tortured, and sent to jail? Sent to DSS in Nigeria for continued torture, human rights abuse. Where was this lady? Never said anything. Oh, all of a sudden, yeah, Peter Obi might be your friend. And clearly, yes, there was injustice. But my anger and frustration to people such as Chimamanda Adichie, Peter, and all of them that think they got the elite, and somehow they kind of embrace the globalist agenda, and so that they become popular, but they forget the reality of their people, and now they're starting to come out to talk and saying to you, you should bury yourselves in shame. You guys should be, you should have some shame. If you do, go get some. Because you're part of the problem. If you had spoken since the human rights abuse of indigenous people of Biafra, knowing that these are your brothers and sisters, they are being killed for championing Biafra. You do not need to say you stop. You don't even need to declare your stand as when it comes to where you stand, whether in Biafra or not. Just stand on the basis of the fundamental principles that secure human rights. And defend for justice for these people. But we wouldn't do it. Court decision came. Court made a decision. They ruled and decided that our leader was wrongly held. That was greatest injustice. And the court ordered that he be released. He was not released. Not once. I never read anything that this lady has said about our leader to disregard. No comment. No comment. Peter Obi himself did not make any comments. And these are things you look at and then you start to see. And that's why IPOB, we have to be very careful and not allow anybody to drag us. Nobody should drag indigenous people of Biafra into the mess, because they are all part of the mess they create. They love Nigeria so much that they would never speak about Nigeria in the international script, on the international sphere. Speak about against Nigeria's consistent human rights violations of freedom fighters such as indigenous people of Biafra and other people that do not have international representation, international powers to intervene for them. Now you started to speak. Now, all of a sudden, your beloved Nigeria, love Nigeria so much. An educated person would open their mouth and say they love Nigeria. It makes me, if you write anything, I do not read your papers because they make no sense to me. You are willingly submitting yourself to those that created you. You are accepting in totality the evils of colonialism and of ongoing neocolonialism and imperialist mentality. You are ascribing to the dictatorship of imperialism. That is why you are accepting stuff like this. Oh, Nigeria, I love Nigeria. We don't have any other country. You have none. Now you know you have no place. After 60-something years, you can't even conduct an election in a country you say you're proud of. I'm a Nigerian. I don't do this. I'm a Nigerian. Nigeria walk. Now you want an international appreciation. Your letter is ridiculous because that's dishonesty. I don't care whether you're trying to defend somebody on an election that didn't win an election. Who cares? You are all in the same class. Hypocrisy. That's what is clear us. When you need to talk for your people, you don't. Have you ever asked your people whether their interest is even in ongoing participation in Nigeria, ongoing membership of Nigeria as a state? Have you ever sat down and reflect? This thing indigenous people of Biafra have been fighting. Is it not time that I say something? What is your comment? You say nothing. You defend Nigeria. You make friends of politicians. You have right to do that, and I do not attack your right to do anything. Everybody has the right to be friends with whoever they want. But do not try to galvanize international sympathy. Or all of a sudden, like the world is falling apart. No, nothing is falling apart. It's just Nigeria doing their usual thing. Get along with it or keep crying. Because no Messiah is coming to save you. You're crying to America. To do what? To come and recolonize you again. Willingly submitting yourself to be recolonized. You need somebody to intervene, to talk to them so that they can help. Why do you want these complexities when we can sit down as indigenous people and build the Biafra of our dream? You're going to continue doing this until you clock 70s. And then you start lamentation of the old days. And all of us, we will continue like this. We've come in this world. Some of us are too lucky that we have where we escape, we run to. But there are our family members, our people that are living in Nigeria. People are being killed. No one defends them. And yet there are people that have recognizable international power position to say something, but don't only say when it comes to this. You mess yourself up because this is politics. The person you mentioning, you're writing to President of America. The President of America does not care whether you are killing yourself. America does not care. They only show that they care when their interest is in question. As long as their interest, geopolitical interest, is secure, they do not care. As long as they have access to Nigerian oil, it doesn't matter who is the president. They do not, and it does not matter the process of the emergence of the president. And I should be reading their books. I expect them to know, to understand the politics of Nigeria, to understand the politics of the world, how this world functions. Otherwise, I'm not reading your books. I don't care how popular they are, because you sound daft to me. Anybody that say they educated professor or whatever you call yourself, and you want anybody to respect you, but you go about calling yourself Nigeria, you are stupid. You deserve no respect. What was the name of your people? Is it that you do not understand how Nigeria came about? Why would you ever call yourself such a name? Why would you ever stand up to defend monuments that have emerged out of colonialism, knowing the history and the nature of colonialism. You go beyond all the complexities associated with the suffering and continuous subjugation of the Igbo people and the Biafran people, only to defend somebody because you like them. Oh, look at him, power him. Everything went wrong in Nigeria election. Oh, this is a breakdown. The world will not collapse. It's been like that since day one. You are telling people that put you together, that built the kiosk you call Nigeria, that you're proud of as your home. You're telling people that build that thing, that everything is collapsing. No, they'll tell you it's not gonna collapse. We have acknowledged the president-elect, and they will continue. That's what they're gonna be telling you. Your letter is F. That is why I conclude with saying this. When they were all complaining, when they were all talking about obedient movement, or in the early stages, I used to educate some people and friends. I put quotes. I put posts in reference to the ongoing election campaigns. Last year, several posts. I made those posts so that I could go back in time and see how consistent was my thinking, how consistent was my thoughts or my thought process. And so I was posting there about people were attacking me. Because I was telling people, I always tell people, you're going to be careful how you play your politics and when you throw everything away. Some of you abandoned the struggle for Biafra, started shouting obedient, obedient. And somebody is telling you, you are delusional. Because you look at how is Nigeria, what is the process like? Oh, obedient number, everybody go get you. Where is it today, everybody? Even Chimamanda, they just say she couldn't even get her car. She didn't even vote. Those ones that are saying, oh, everybody's online. People created Facebook pages, social media pages, using P2B and obedient as a cruise, as a way to get population or audience. And after that, what happened? Because those of them, Yoruba, all this, shouting obedient. At the end of the day, they go inside and vote their man. Every Yoruba man, well, let me not say every. I'm tempted to really say every. Because I've lived in Yoruba land for 5 years. 1 year in Akure, 3 years in Ibadan, your state, 1 year in Lagos. I think 5 years about that. And I could tell you that I still question till today why our people are why so much obsession with Fulani? Because we have our greatest problem in Yoruba as a race, as ethnic group, than we have in Fulani people. Check what is killing us. Check who is stabbing us the most in this struggle. It is the Yoruba media. The Yoruba has built institution of attack. They know how to attack, who to attack. They've gradually started attacking P2B, but there's a way they come. They started attacking IPOB. Check even up to today, when there's no state in the world apart from the home of corruption called Nigeria. No other state under the international law has recognized IPOB as a terrorist group. But why in Nigeria that's so? And why is still the Yoruba media always refer to IPOB as proscribed group? Proscribed group. They have agenda. The Yoruba has agenda, and the media is driving their agenda. When they cannot get that, they push Igbo man and push Hausa man, and they sit back and watch you fight. At some point, they come in the middle. You think they're separating you. They hijack it when it favors them, and when they know that you cannot do anything. Suddenly, they start attacking you. Then check all of them. Kayode or Fayemi, I don't actually remember the guy now. But you know the man I'm talking about, who tried to come very close to our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You remember handshake across the Niger. All these things now are they've all suddenly vanished. They are suddenly meaningless. The same people that went a couple of times, handshake across the Niger,
are the same people stabbing you, calling for your death, putting you down, trying to push you to the bottom of the relegation in Nigeria. Some people disrespecting you, being racially abusing you. But would you recognize this? Would you recognize where your enemy lies? Oh, but I marry a Yoruba wife. Oh, but my kids are mixed. It does not matter. I've lived my entire life in Lagos. It does not matter. If you are Igbo, you are in trouble. If you are Igbo, you have no room in Nigeria to develop as a people. You might be eating very well. You might be able to have a house outside Nigeria. You might be able to have businesses going on well in Lagos. But I could choose Saga Bama. Because at the end of the day, Igbo people have no future in Nigeria. If you like, listen to it, think about it, do something about it above all. If you don't like it, let it go. Continue. We will do this forever. And in 50 years' time, our kids will continue doing the same thing while the rest of the world is advancing in development. I will leave you here and I will thank you all, our audience, for again joining us tonight. I would like to thank my colleagues who have spoken very, very well and have really delivered very significant, politically and economically significant points, and that have been very helpful tonight. I'd like to thank Mazi Ike Peters for having us, and we look forward to next week when we join you back. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mazi, and over to you.
All right, thank you very, very much. This was very interesting, and you guys spoke very well. I'm very happy about the situation that's today. All right, we are still where we are. We are Biafrans. Anybody who doesn't want to believe that we don't have a room in Nigeria, well, sorry for that person, because you can lie to yourself, you can deceive yourself all you want, but the truth is, we know that we are not Nigerians, and there's nothing anybody can make us become Nigerians overnight. One more time, I say goodbye and thank you very much for being on this program. Unfortunately for me, and fortunately for all of us, our time is almost up. We are not going to be able to have time to take any more call today, because I have less than 10 minutes to go on this program. So what I will tell you is that tomorrow I want you to go home and think of what the Australian just said, because the last speaker especially has spoken so well. You know, we all jumpy. Asina okwa nebe kwa say agni neti o say na okoko na agwo na okoko wura na is going to be the next to eat. Anybody who is an Igbo person, whether you're a professor, you're a lecturer, you're an engineer, you're a car rider, you are whatever you are, and you're hoping you are one Nigerian, is that's how I put it. Because Chiamanda Adichie, we know that her book that she wrote, her father, her father, bless his soul, was in the war, and everything she wrote was she had about in the war. I know that some of them are very afraid to speak, but you know something? The Fulani man will get away from you if you are bold enough to speak. If you are not bold enough, Amanda, your level now, you go to the point where you can speak and say your mind. Look at the idiot that has a wool on his head like a hair, that calls himself Wale Soyinka. That's an idiot. These are people that will sit down and don't say anything. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told us that this man is a snitch, he stole that laureate or whatever they call him, we thought it was just propaganda. So do not sit down there. We all, you know, you are our sister. P2B is our brother, yes. But you know something? You don't stand a chance, you don't have a nation, you don't have a country. My own little self, my protest. I don't join any Nigeria organization. Anything organization boo Nigeria and email, I'll count me out. Including my village people. I'm just staying away from everybody, because what are we really doing? How can you sit down there and you see what is happening and you're not talking? In a former organization, this is that has no power, baseless slaves, bunch of slaves gathering themselves together and thinking that they are Nigerians. They are not. What they showed you in P2B's case is you don't belong here. We don't know you. We don't recognize you. We don't know who you are. Anybody ajura no wa. Well, you have a more problem than we can imagine. Because that is a problem. That is a very, very serious problem. And that is the situation where we are in today. We are not part of them. And we are still refusing to believe that we are not part of them. Can I say one Nigeria, one Nigeria, one Nigeria? This is Radio Biafra. All right, let's say call it a day, and tomorrow we'll be back here again together. Stay tuned, don't go away, my brothers, because Mazi is coming in next. And another thing I want to remind you is that this Radio Biafra is our worship place. From me, from here, say goodbye. See you again tomorrow at the same time. Stay tuned. Mazi is next. From here, it's goodbye.
I believe. Listen to Radio Biafra. It's where we worship. As a Chukukike Abiyama. Let your kingdom come. Listen to Radio Biafra. It's where we worship. As a Chukukike Abiyama. Let your kingdom come. 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 Let
without fear before our enemies. We have sworn an oath to restore Biafra, or we die in the process. There will be no retreat and no surrender. If the option they give to us is to seek our restoration by violence, every living thing living in the zoo will be destroyed. All the animals will be destroyed. It's a promise and a pledge we are making to them. They must understand that we just don't.
Wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are, this very evening, this very day, the first day of May, in the year of our Most High Elohim 2021, the time now is precisely 1 minute past 7 p.m. in the chosen land of Biafra, the blessed land of Biafra, the hallowed land of Biafra, and I believe it is now 2 minutes past.
Out of JSS whatever. You cannot go to Washington and say you're raising concern about the Nigerians they are killing. When you give her that scenario that it is Nigerians that they are killing, there you have excluded yourself from the victim to be, it is an atrocity committed on all Nigerians. But that's not the case. That's very misleading. They have levied war in Igbo land. So we must define our complaint to those making those complaints. We must define it, or else it will come to haunt us. Just like I told you, if we ask you not to participate in the election, you will accuse IPOB. Then I told you, if you go, they will rig the election. And then people will tell you, but is it because you lost? Then you're looking for a referendum. We must see how the world reasons, not just the way we reason. We must also take a look at the world, at the way they see us. This is what happened yesterday, or whatever date it was. It was this week. And you look at it, you hear it, I will let it play full. Then I get to the second aspect of it. And then you see why I blame our people. Because we are not directing, they are not directing our problem to the appropriate people. And those that are doing this, I don't know where they come from. Maybe it's not their village. Even if it's their village, they give you many reasons.
Biafra. It's another sad day anyway. I just want to show the world what Nigerian army did to Biafran citizens. They were here yesterday The day before yesterday, in Ikotu to Olu in Imo State to fight war with the gallant men on ground, and at the end they left the war that they came to fight and be burning people's shop, breaking people's shop and pack their property. This is some shop that were selling accessory. Nigeria government break their shop and pack their accessory. Break all those that were selling. These are the damages then caused. They called to put some places on fire. As you can see, so this is what they did. Then break in this shop. This shop, now then break this shop. Look at it. The whole Nigerian soldiers then break the shop and do away with the goods. This is what they did to us. So that the one will bear us witness that we say, hey, we can never be one and we will never be one. This is what they did. I took my time to show you people this so that you will see it. This is the handwork of Nigerian military. This is what they are good at. Destroying people property. And these people that own this place love this is what good item. Not all this. I will upload no other video to you people so that you see what Nigeria did to Biafran citizens. This is what they did to us. This is what they did to us. Look at what they did. They never gave us money to do market to sell market. They never build market for us. But look at what they did. Biafra land. Look at the damages they caused in our land. For nothing sake, for no reason. Look at the world should see. The world should see what they are doing. Look at. Burning people property, the money where they no be them give the people to do the business. So the person server get the money, they do business. Nigeria army, Nigeria police, Nigeria every forces came and break this shop. Since it is something that cannot pack, they put it on fire. Watch. Look at it too. Let the world see. Let the world see what they did in the country to Imo State.
This is not the first time. This is not the first of its kind. It's been happening to Biafrans in Biafra land. And you call yourself a Nigerian. I'm not even talking just that. In one of the reports, they killed a lady that is mentally sick. And what are you telling me? It is disheartening. It is it's very painful. It's very painful. We don't have peace outside Biafra land. We don't have peace inside Biafra land. And I don't know how long this will continue to happen. Our people are so patient, enduring, and resolute. This is our people. Just excuse me. Yeah, I better do that before I break something. This is our people, and that brings me to this issue. And this issue is what I like you to evaluate with me. So, our people. Somebody put out this. And I laughed at it. They put it on April 26, and they come with a strategic advocacy with the U.S. Congress in Washington. What a capture headline. The security risks to Nigeria's 2023 elections and why it must not be overlooked. This is what people whose homes are being burned are writing, and they come up to this National Press Conference at 2 p.m. Visit Center with the U.S. Congress 10 a.m. The White House 12 noon 1:30. And this is what they say. Then they give you something to fill out. Please fill out and reserve your seat for April 26. The security risk, why they must not be overlooked. And I was so anxious to see what's on there. Absolutely nothing. And then they put certain information there, and they're telling you your last name, all that stuff. They are requesting for information. I'm asking, when this kind of atrocities are being committed, what is our principal topic? What is our headline? Are we going for strategic study for 2027? Another 4 years gone. As somebody you gave back to 2019, is a 4-year-old suffering. 4-year-old is working. 4-year-old is running. 4-year-old calls papa and mama. 4-year-old witnesses a soldier or soldiers coming and invade their community and ransack, rape, murder, and burn. This is the experience of a 4-year-old. 5-year-old, you started giving him responsibility. Go and get me some water. And you send him an errand. Go to the next door. Do you know the mindset of that boy or that child? Am I going to be attacked on my way? insecurity has invaded the mind of this little boy. Now, you go backwards. Those that were elected 2015, 2019, they are 80 now. They are teenagers. They are almost teenagers, living through the same nightmare. And then you're going to talk about strategic conversation and all whatnot. By then he will be 8 years old. Then those that were before him will be 19, out of high school, almost. They're ready to go to out of SS whatever, ready to go to college. You're still talking about democratic and strategic. With who? Your villages are being ransacked. Those that are ransacking your villages have a strategy. Their strategy is to destroy your land, destroy your properties, destroy your investment, and leave you destitute, leave you penniless. And you are talking about strategic. It is a very fine word. Very fine word that you introduced there to make it sound as if you're doing something. Well, doing absolutely nothing. These are the agents of the politicians. These are the agents of the Igbo unions, all of them. You can pry the word from them. Go and investigate the people that put out this. You'll find out who they are. Investigate the people that put out this. You will find out who they are. Let us make life easier for ourselves. Let our people start holding people responsible when things are not done. I want to remind our people that you have taxed. You have taxed. I did not say task. You have taxed IPOB, DOS, HOD, ESN so much. What is your responsibility? Then the task you are supposed to undertake, you are not undertaking it. You are not carrying it out. You shift the responsibility to the people I just mentioned. And then you stay on the corner. Let them do it. If you're honest, if you're sincere, you will tax yourself. What are you putting out? What sacrifice are you going to make? Instead of sitting on the fence. What must be done must be done. Duty that must be performed must be performed. And then damn the cost. That is the tax. Obligation. Something you have to. If it's a task, something that must be done, how are you going to do it? Where must you do it? Is it important? Then you tax yourself. It has to be done. That is the stance, IPOB, DOS, HOD, ESN. That's what they have undertaken. So know the difference. We cannot afford to sit on the fence. For those that produced that strategic rubbish, what are you going to achieve? When I say something, I pinpoint what I'm saying. Where are the priorities we attach to something? Where are they? What are our priorities? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still there. These people did not even mention the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They did not even talk about referendum. They are politicians. And you see them talking about democracy that doesn't exist, and they're not even mentioning the danger in their villages. Before Ndengwa comes, may I ask you a question? Are these people, don't they have relatives from Osu? Are they not from Osu? That means they are well comfortable to see what is happening in their home, in their villages, in their community. That brings me back again to the politicians. You're not hearing them. They are not talking. Omaimi na mwenye. Onye aghụghọ na-aghọ ihe a na-efu. Onye aghụghọ na-aghọ ihe a na-efu. Then what applies most? Onye aghụghọ nwụọ, onye aghụghọ elie ya. You play games with people that play games. Somebody got to lose, the gambler. Define your stand. Be plain. Be clear as to what you want. And go for it. Make your stand clear. That will make our job easier. Biafrans, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to carry out. Our safety is very important. We have not achieved that safe haven. We've never achieved it. Even in our land, we are not safe. our own land. We are not safe. How are we going to take care of that? It does not concern me. Let them do it. Who is them? If it does not concern you, then whose responsibility is it when our leader undertook that responsibility? How? How did you carry it out? I am begging. I am begging. Let us be very, very strong. Let us be honest to ourselves and make life easier for others to survive. Let's make life easier for our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We are not doing that. Mazi is here. Mazi Ndewo, and welcome. Ndewo, take it over and go. Go ahead.
Okay. Asem ụtụtụ ọma, ehihie ọma, abalị ọma, ụmụnne m niile. Ebe ọ bụrụ na ọ dadoro n'ụbọchị taa bụ abalị 12 n'ime ọnwa anọ n'afọ mbụ 2023. Taa mbụ nkwọ asị m ebe ọ bụla ị nọ daa n'olu anyị na redio Biafra, eji FM na-ege ntị, eji kọmuniti redio n'ọbụla ị gatara isi eme daa n'olu anyị adịrị nabatara gị ndewo. Asị m ụbọchị taa mbụ nkwọ ma kpara gị mma hụ ebe ọ bụla daa n'olu anyị mara asị igbo m ozi m ọzọ ndị ka anyị ya mara unu mma. Asị m ndị mgba ndị mụrụ ndị ka anyị maazị nọ na ahụrụ ka nọ ka unu n'otu ole ma ndị nọ n'ụlọ ma ndị nọ mba ofesi. Adị m ikele unu na-ekele anyị Igbo niile ebe ọ bụla ịnọdụ ala ụlọ anyị, ebe nwa afọ Imo, ebe nwa afọ Anambra, ebe nwa afọ Ebonyi steeti, ebe nwa afọ Enugu, ebe nwa afọ Abịa, ebe nwa afọ Akwa Ibom, ebe nwa afọ Mgbe Amịrị Ugwu Ọcha. Adị m ifuru ya ka kada m oge nzukọ ndị nwere redio Biafra. Ọ bụ mgbe m onye na dịde m alụzi na anyị nọ na taa mbụ ụbọchị akara aka dịka m kwuru, taa mbụ abalị 12 n'ime ọnwa anọ, taa mbụkwanụ nkwọ. Asị m ụlọ ndewo dịka m ga-anabata agbata obi ikwu na ebe ị nọ n'ụlọ ọrụ ọbụla ọdụ ahịa ṅụọ ọbụla ị nọ. Adị m ifere ya ka asị gị ya ma anaghị mma. Adịghị ọda adịghị ka oke ya, adịghị ọda anyị si bịa, adịkwa ọrụ nkwụ otu ugwu adịghị ka ya. Anyị na-ekwu ikwu okwu anyị mkpọrọ ọnụ, anyị adịghị gara kpofu ya, ma anyị adịghị ekpofu ya, anyị adịghị kpọrọ ọdọ. Asị onye isi ọhịa n'ọka mgbe ọ dị ihe na ọga niile anya egwu ọkwa ịkọkwara mgbe ọ ga-ekpukpere aka egoro ọrụ gị kwanye ọkụ gbukere aka gị isi ya nkụ ọgwe ndị ije anyị mara asị ndị ọma dị ige ntị ndị ka anyị onye Chineke iji m ohere anyị ekele ụmụnne anyị niile ndị kwara aka nwọtọ gwere obi ọma niile dị ahụ ọma. Asị m onye ji Chineke na Chineke ahụ iduru anyị gaa n'obodo ahụ o kwere anyị na nkwa. Ụmụnne anyị niile nwere ụmụnne anyị ndị dị ụzọ mkpu ụmụnne ndị egburula ike. Asị m unu ghara na oge anyị ga-echeta ndị gara aga oge eduwala na-asụ dịka unu ga-akwa ekwe ya na ndị anyị ga-esọpụrụ, na ndị anyị ga-ekwu iru ugwu, na ndị anyị ga-echeta na mkpụrụ ọgba niile mbata n'ime ọnwa ọdọ. Asị na mkpụrụ obi unu ezela ike, unu amara ahụhụ nsogbu, unu amakwa na-anọkọtafu ihu aka n'isi mmụọ. Gharịkwana onye unu gara adịghị ala unu dọrọ unu gara ịdọ ọ bụ afọ na-anya nwanne ọ bụrụ ka bụ nsogbu mmadụ asị ụbọchị ole na ole mbata n'ime ọkpọdụ anyị ga-ịnọ mee ncheta unu kiri unu ugwu unu birekwa mmụọ gawa. Mmadụ asị ndị ka na ọbụ ụtọ that before 30th of May is going to be at home. Anyị na-egwere ya agba ọ sị na ọrịrị nọ n'ala Biafra even ụfọdụ egwere aka wee jụwa m si sit-at-home 30th of May dị otu eji eme ma soro ọgbasa ụtarị eji eme. Anyị echenjibe ọgwụ otu ha, it will still remain total lockdown ebe niile ala Biafra dị. So ya bụ ya Madre kam di bude kele ko mun naji ndede la ono na de gaga kemba ndwanya la de ya de kele kwa imukiti imi ndedi pono la DOS uno jishike lumo kare no mufu kota ite mu no makale golo awu ekele otu onye ụlọ amaghị okoro na ọbụ otu onye ngakpanye onye ghara onye dị onye ngakpanye kpakpọ ọbụrụ ke nọmba ụtọ ọbụrụ ke nọmba atọ ọbụrụ ke nọmba n'akụkụ ghara ụlọ ehile nga otu nwoke ngwara ife na-aga asị m unu jisi na ike laka unu ji ndị ka esi na onye asịla jisi ike laka oji lọdụ ime mere asị m unu ndị US unu jisi ike la unu jisi ike ladị m ifuru n'aka asị m unu jisi ike na unu gara n'uvu onye nọ ya zidoro m ibe ala ọkpụtụ m jizie biko ama m na ma niile aga ịnụcha meteenụ zidoro m onye ọdọ si ala m si unu jisi n'ike ladị m ifuru unu aka m jisi ike na ekele anyị nga na bụ jike ndị ka esi ọzọ jisi ike like all the Malama Mahamis Mundishike, no gawa. Local Ladia, Eligua Hime, who the Butch in the Medran, adequate room in the Podo, and the principal officers lead, and the contractors, even the members of IPU, Monday of freedom, the hard demon, to lobby. Yawala, took the Congraya, or the Buya, no Harala, got sign. Harala, got about top mara so leadership weekend fully long as the kind Yamano Machita la Yamuina running game of yourself. Fine, I think on a colonel's Zolos card, people got on a gun in the line. Now, my lock was with that in the line. The castle at the issue I have me. No matter what control. The guy tired going illegally to Okakalo, when I never chase a chukuki cabin, one note to one I table. One to another soon, Abella. Omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent God. Chukuki cabin, my keeping me a little. Mapa Gara. Machita line the quick killing. It's a more line in Bangamani killing, but by the Mikele, Simon is on my little land. I seek. I declare like to come out to I declare like how many Dimrani. I never saw no was in the killing. It's a common money killing, Mojo Mema, money killing, like you know, my daughter, to the devil Nicolai. A body declaring, singing by the Mala. The way to Taparangism still up, the train of Lambu, and you know, Dino Limia. You don't think they will shoot Nanica, Amano. Every Mula Bonso is lodging with the body of Look at how innocent Biafrans are being slaughtered and destroyed there. Only that they ask for what belongs to them. It is Wamula like Hona in Dimala and in Dimajo. Nobody bring them from the Surya for passing get their answers. Upon like Hona in Dimala, who help a person. Upon to one who show a machine upon the down. Opera can come there. A opera like I know his mother Cindy Yellow of the Henry. I can't read them when I know. I would like to see what on there. Laugh that cry you way. I will read them a woman. Laugh that's running way, that's running way. I will read them a woman. Laugh they running penny for when you zoom. I said, take it, you is one. It will read you right. Take you like book free food. And they are managed you one in the slacker, and now making a total against them. When you zoom back and messing my triangle so you back. But did I cut a little to Yadi Dima? I miss you, Kunyanaka. Now, one of the best ready added. Look upon a lab also. Don't let go Israel. Where Egypt to that to the zone. I don't meet a triangle key, Marima. He can take him a look at Graga. Madapasi, the Megua. Lamb for Africa. The guy playing money my I look at Kanu gave Biafrans a hard as a order. After him had a man daughter of Libriani. Marasi could be pretty. I've been a the Pama period of time so me ko no dia ni ne de ko gam papa da ge ti en di no ni no de han mande di letro ya ka no ba se me bi me de mande ja ha ga da ko no ba no ko la yo ne so me no ba ja àwọn ko ba de ta ga na ga no kura de ko iji me ta ba yo ne so me ase ge po ne le do ta no ba no ko la ne so me ti yo no de han me ta chawa ya ro ko ka ki onye zo mmadụ mere ladies ndị niile ji obi niile na nkụzi obodo ahụ n'ezo enwe ogologo ndụ nyekwa amamizu nyekwa ọmụ nghọta dị iche n'ezo omume m na-ekwu okwu ya mbụ mgbe ọ gbasa anyị nwere ha anyị gị na anyị bi eto n'ezo omume gaale gaa n'ala gaale ugwu ala na rọpụtara anyị kpa anyị bụ iji mee ya na ọ dịkwa na-agaga na chilabụ jụsele ebecha anyị ebe ọ bụla agbasịrị na-ada eche mkpakara akpara ọbụla na-ada eche were akọta na ọ ga-agbasa mkpụrụ onye maka Excellency na-atụkwasị ghara ka ugwu Zion na nkwado si ike ozuga ọnọdụ ọkpọmụrụ ụgwọ ọnụ esi ka masị na ụgwọ ọnụ emezuru aka mmadụ elugbere ọka bibara esikwa na ụgwọ ọbụla ya kwufu mmadụ ebela mmezu na ọ ga-elarịrị ọkpọmụrụ ntịtara ndị chetara abụ mkpala m debara mmadụ asị bịa bịa eme ya mgba mgbe ndị ọma dị gaa ntị ndị gaa na-asị mụrụ ya mara ọmụma ụbọchị taa ụtụtụ ọma ehihie ọma abalị ọma ebe ọ bụla ị nọ gaa n'ugwu asị m ụbọchị taa mara nnukwu mma mara onye nta ndị niile ndị ezi obi dị ebe anyị ndị ime otu ndị a kọzi eme ọzọ ndị ọ na-akpa elu ozu ha mbụ sọrị mara sị ndị ka anyị adị m ikoro na anyị abịala ọdụ n'ụbọchị taa dịka anyị ndị jikwa abịa biko adụkwu dị malụ ozi kpụrala ọnụ mgbe m onye ikwu ọnụ nha adịghị m dị iche ime ka ụmụnne anyị ndị ọfụma na ihe gbasara agwa ndị ukwu eke maọbụ ndị ọrụ nchekwa dị ime n'ala Igbo asị ihu ihe ụfọdụ ụmụnne anyị ji matachabere mgbugere ndị nwere ihe dịka IPOB ESN ọ ghara ihe dịka mma mmiri ejula nwa akwụ ọnụ nke na-adịghị imetụ emetụ la anyị nne la anyị ndị egbochiwe ọnụ la anyị ndị iwu egwu la anyị ebube agụ na-eche agụ ọbụ ntatagbawa dị emetụ chike na-adịghị imetụ nke na-emetụ tọfọtụ na anyị nna ya nwa dị emetụ tọfọtụ na anyị na-adịghị most of times get home na maybe when of the DOS supposed to view the day ESM na no ni moya na chunama ihe ni post to the efere mbowa for mo na ni woni ke da you see this today that na somebody asked me this thing master like na bia ko ware ya na radio to we ke wata hide them one na am play the no because you called me through the radio how they can the post na most attacks get on na Mazi post to na so now also they post them at garage for the word for people to see to know the work of the real ESN upon the case yes level ESN only the Naramado want to yes level ESN no why they are posting it about that is the work of the ESN. No ESN, they are inside the bush. That's when they full and lanama without one way. Why are not that to me now? One of the rebels want to do. Most of the times you see some videos like that, they make the ESN. I want them on each and every. That is why you are put at like that. You know what they are doing. It's part of for the one to see, for people to see. When we can move from the yes, we working now on support the Biafra struggle. These people are criminal. Why you are seeing those okay that our people are still in the bush? Achunama. Achunama maybe she because this people just talent. Check out the way that one can shop in the garden. We share how we you see the another pattern you use in the garden. Now take a look at or think if there is nothing like I yes they hit it. You make it a money. So that is why you see them, you know. The brother was just asking me, bro, that one that they post video the ESM natural. What other person now the Kanu say it what the ESM in the say when you see these people around you, close to you, give them an attention or just comply with them. They are your own. They are there to protect you. They are there to make sure that your farmland will be safe. If 100 years and you do wrong, the flag will be I represent the 9 of 9 in the one. That is for you to know the real people that are working. Avoid the one where is that 10 years and no. We know our people. Are you getting me, bro? So I'm made in America. I don't have already more for the women. That is to tell you can't whatever. But the guys like Mazi will be a you can't go now. So that is for you to know the real EX. Distance security for you to know them how well with. They are in the bushes, all our bushes. And all our son lying in the forest to make sure that lava full any agree at lava place. All them bridge only do zero. Maybe I had to label to that is why you see them. So they know why take care this Easter Garaga of our day realize are not why those people are in the bush. And you must know for them to be in the bush, adding the way they are eating day and the night. So no. This is the people that are doing the work. Yes, I want to read after Lozo. They are not mad moto or they are kidnapped. No. They know the moya. Are they with you? They are not the right. Even they are not the value for them or that guy. And on night in the they will have home. So I'm certain made to do it. So they can imagine that they go. All I told you that. All I did. I'm not one of the again on him here. Long again on his board. It is neither that they come to Islamize you if you refuse. No matter allow you to have a Bushia. We better try to have a Bushia. All that la, I want the fear of ESN and IPU. Probably with that fear. If not, all are they hitting me and the original? You are around. So in the point for our people don't know handling that. And there are still other ones that has been going on. So you know that it is neither you just want to agree. It is neither you support what we are doing. We are not here for joke. See how they are killing our people, destroying our villages, destroying our market. This get the power. Everything for some of you, they do not declare we are not IPOP members. As long as you go Biafra, who take it away. Full and at least I don't know I see this person is not be ESM member or IPOP member. Once he go and I email them for. They want to have for a full lady. Our chop with the mother only believe by now. Why are again, you imagine on a war, not like maybe already with the Kiwani. If you go some places, give Mala, you show the matter. They him read a venue the other day. What happened there? Who are those killing? It's a record like the Nigerian government are they aware of those people. Name a mgbe ụfọdụ ndị otu ụmụnne ndị ka anyị jide ekwu okwu masị ndị na ujukwa ndị mmiri ara afọ onye mekwa ndị ụmụ ndị na etemama ịbụrụ nwa afọ Igbo ịnọ skutu na mmefu otu ụbọchị ọnwa nkeji ole na ole kpee ekpere rịọ Chineke sị ahụ zipụtara anyị Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ya etinye ihe dịka IPOB if not mma ofu ụmụnne anyị na-akpọcharala n'ụlọ ndị ji ego gbara aga na ụfọdụ ime ụlọ gị chefuchara nna gị ụfọdụ anyị gbakọta ụlọ n'otu nwekwekwesị Chineke oleela zigatara anyị Maazị Nnamdi Kanu despite the son of the fugitive and vagabond. So long had a long problem to them because that land we only use land echo. Then all you look you na canana. But don't have a full is all of you standing against us. Nale brasa pineapple hide him back on the man or the Macomo give a target. Your 10th generation is what you are. You are only interested in Lampadonia. You want to be governed. You want to be Senate President. You want to kill your people and go to that seat. That is all you want. That's your own. That is your own problem. You want to just show one night. That is your own thinking. Let me tell you, John the guys will Padra College. Contest from the office of rep to the governor or president to a Nigerian and Nigeria school. One of you are so naggy Nigeria, Mamma. One I said, why don't me? I don't know, that the same school. Most of the times we complain that our teachers have not been paid. They will teach when I go. One goes out only we will let a quarrel will let then we had a window you live large. You see what happened when a house was on strike. Also, for governors, their children was graduating in UK. At the end, where is it? The more you look, the less you see. Among the Igbo matter in Nigeria. Among the Igbo matter. Among the Igbo matter. Among the Igbo matter. The young lady boy matter and give my one of Dana about me. The young lady woman and give my all of the Mama. So, for people, I didn't give that conclusion. But one state, you got a agree with elections while anybody after president. All I help you say that we are going to boycott the election. Now, by now, we are not alone. But for the fact line about action pity, you are put on don't give blame. No the kind of reason. No give blame the IPOB. Now, look at the condition. From now till next some soon get the condition of our people in Nigeria. Ndara. So the last all the whole of the celebrities that were just being obedient now una dizila loyalty. Look at the age, either and at the end, what is your gain? Again. At the end, you will again. We didn't supposed to go. Why don't we project as a president again? Only if you come as we should come in the book of you. I compare my kid. That is how our people will be turning up and down. Without what to get a day, without what a day, I go get Kanu, Jeru, which someone I bring no one a big idea. Who no blatter of Tagada or Kapakia to Kapakia. At the end, they had a chapter. Masses are down. You have nothing to show more after the I pity for our people. You can hasten with the other. You must make a move, which will have already started it. And God is with us. He can never allow us to be shamed, to put to shame. He can never do so. I don't know why people to be understanding that it is something that is impossible. How do you see what you are doing as something that is impossible? No, psychology. The man like what give me. Biafra on the child, hey, it's like Nigeria, it's like this election or whatever. South Africa, how many years did they spend fighting for them? That is why the reason why you see them, they are trying to go to it because they know what they pass through. Even now, Biafra that time of Beijing. This is not a place you can come here and give a message up. No, because they know the price they paid. Take care of it. I think near to one next year or whatever you build 2 village. I know. Or take a child, they go dear ones who have to read the more. That is exactly what you are seeing. That is why if you in our issue Nigeria want to go what it for that they make an added to income. They know what they pass through measure of the way. I don't really measure of the law. That is why you see Nigeria can come and do anyhow. Still the nobody is ready to talk. It will never know about the land and data. Mazi Nnamdi has been in ESN Dungeon. For the money, bread and bacon. For the bread and bacon. You know what I have the chili. Biafra, the game down here. I like to give her. He gave a down here for best of all. The deal was each line alive, but they could get to it. Why I tell you this? For the see a road to freedom adding is. And the left line is no going back. Those that are asking us to leave agitation, they sacrifice that themselves to deliver their own people is that we should leave it for own selfish interests. I'll tell you what you have benefited from Nigeria as a Nigerian citizen. If you go to like America or US or that country, once able their citizens and take you to hospital. Some of them because of how they give them our products are there because of how they give them okay, someone was shouting that this national hospital that you should shut down. Like a little to learn now. The council of Mawaye Ham, no to learn. Ordinary hospital, like your place, it's not working. Still, you are still past. I'm in Nigeria. The people that are telling you to vote for them, like even on the whenever they are sick, they fly to abroad, gather property, is it not the leaders, those people, is it not the leaders that make that place to be well? People to never lie in nothing, and they live in Marahili Yamam, or automation Yamam. Usually, as a teacher, I told you, Thames and my job. Usually, I told you, village, the country, you know, all of us are planning to leave this country. I have to and do the quality image in my hand. That is why most of us are here in the show that we must remain in this struggle because also para Nnamdi be okra batula la buka bata anaga yemu demi. Aka de padi me when that we can never leave it for any reason. No. And that is the one yes, I have handing them. No. I have wish handing them. And the body may wish here. But one thing I know that God can never actually learn it. She got in there and so all that we expect can have ice a bargain. After handing them. Okay, your work. Any ministry appointment, any internet we can leave it. Thank God today that US has been working tirelessly in order to the foundation, the structure can intact. Mashobula leak. Amohama Putu. Ilana Magera yellows. Don't come and cause havoc because it may create in the generation cause. Let me tell you something. In next 10 to 15 to 20 years or 30 years, they got some people will pass, some generation will be passing through something later as their grandfather betrayal as a result of this time around, this period I know it. Those that have been betraying us, those that have been sabotaging us, the generation is going to suffer it. Good to me. Them they were pure truth, Makalahani, the more. Ihe ọnọdụ ụmụnne nọ n'ime ya gịda aga-eji anyị na-anya ego ego anyị ji ihe nwụọ a ga-etinye mbụ otu mgbe tụbara n'ime ala irechi ya isita ego ịdị idọrọ ndị akụwara ahụ ndị bịa tụwa akụwara ahụ ndị ọcha okpuru onye akụ etere wụsin aga m ebe foto ma be furu ọkakọmali ebe furu aka na garị ofe aka enwere ofere ọma aka ọma aka mmadụ. This thing you can mess up in other things, but anything myself, you don't joke with it. You can mess up with your politics or whatever, legal affiliation, do whatever. But when it comes to kill animal, agalaga, amanayawa. Kila waleji, ebo nubuda, mabundengwa. As the lady, ebo watakra, wakana animal. Kila waleji, ebo nubuda. So, era rushing, ara, bagagera, anumai, is also zone. Don't ever you near this one we are doing. Stay clear. Yeah, it is zone. Who are preparing no yapo, the fourth and the year. I don't also also great I say more. I know where I'm. What we are doing is spiritual. What are you Bible for my eye name here? Don't just because that later my life, some of us in the area, you feel that you can come up and mess up anyhow. Or this time you already may have a long day, you will came on to the man, the parallel model, and the teacher himself. I better for more. The guy did them go for that I have to be guilty. This is not a family business. This is not a family business. Mela kede de step claim up to just God lawan lama e gente ndi ka so o ejeje hode me hodo o ka de ma ko no fo ja pn ejeje hode me hodo. This now lama I want my people several times about this. Stay clear, stay clear, don't ever our lama ejeje kele ko no me da pa ko na gente Maka kido ari leje apa yel kama semba premature no kwa makina ku yini awala yama. Don't ever try this one. I know what I'm telling you. Don't ever. Some of us are my megana on Chineke mebre. I dey make sure that baba la make na this so give my together what is going to happen. This is a pure yamo. And on I did him with Igbo. You're supposed to know who we are because so, let me for some of our people when they are is married. You think that this is an avenue for you to mess up or do anyhow you want to do. I only got able say no matter. I did the make where you book. You there where you Macadi and Mama. What a time Cramo not give a time Cramo not give a this is not something no. Because I've won my talk for several times. Any more Koyaza, any after what I in the mail like for that. No, I'm the email or Nicola. Don't ever, if you're my the only thing that can save you, only when you case such a village, or very pala, very so pala, so cool. Or we are also a guy is Opolana. That is where you can be saved. As long as all the money are so. Take a send every year, so Chayaga, so like who be Marco. All they made a botany, you are killing yourself. Pastor, prophet, the people are getting the kind of member who know for your life to remain, for your generational life to remain. Because they won't get able to be alive. And then Larry water in a palang because cemetery and bread on. Water. You will still Larry or Larry with that face a car, face a if you don't know. If you don't maybe make time walk or a gap on actually like a water, a papa. Another new the keep around, obvious as ill and will also maybe out. As a one of the papa, we have what a shade of Gavali Laya so what I do is him more is a spiritual thing. Is the political destiny, but person no, don't ever come this area. A G can able no whatever. God will a member of 5 people. One he made a cargo, marry last year. I go for the run on a kind of pipeline. Yellows of Pandora met to a government. They are long now to Coca-Cola, Mashipaniki, Mashi yellows. You can also get block. No, don't try that. He made them and they get that to see the behind in the middle first. Maybe Belendi and I remember this and that Chinica for the York. And they were to issue. So what I'm telling you is that some of people they just came in a kind of my hand on Nanigali, maybe within 2 or 3 years different. None after Dodge. They get Dodge, so bad. But the Majima the guys love me, Mama, Ibrahim Piano, my brother, Mama. We are not going to stop anybody. No, but concentrate. If Maria Maria say about behind him, one now focus on our language leadership and a babu. They have connected wire. And you regret coming for that such mission. You don't feel like again, why I'm saying all these things about some of you don't know what our people are passing through in this contraction called Nigeria. If not, there is no more I prevent Mazi and Kanu. I'm not for more than anybody because of our mission. Because Lana when they can get you face in years to come, Mazi and Kanu come. If not, I'm not for more than I got in a long time. So if they now come in the Macadia, maybe look at us guessing now. No. The guys love a career, I call you a guru, or your mom, so what I'm trying to explain this thing today, this is not what I love him, but what language joy. Freedom fighting, I'm Sabare. Because one, many people has do what? Sacrifice their life. All of us are sacrificing our life in one way or the other. Some of us, our business and lives. Some of us, we have to have all the town or village, we may explain it. For the one who have football land, even freedom fighting for the home jelly, but they are still culturally home. Before they have only for if not for hiding, we will they will. Again, because I do religions or whatever, they decided to come out and fight for their freedom to make sure that their father's land will be restored for the betterment of incoming generation. Their blood will through their blood and all of Nanem Navagi, Baroya and all other. I wish she you think of what I'm telling you. This is the time when no This is not the time you're not going to This is the time you have to come up with your support. Because we don't want to say, if you cannot or if you cannot find a way to join IPP, there is a way you support. In our way channel, you will do to this year lose. No, and now you may have Canada of Marino. This is not politics. Maybe you will again or guys on Dubai. I did for my lily, Madikima. Mande Paranas, Mande Island. Why I say that some of you is going to have problem? Those that are saying that that are working against what we are doing. If Biafra comes today or tomorrow, will still remain in Biafra with us. I mention about the Yaparag. I change Ego, give whatever. You Chineke, the mail of Biafra, give what they call and check so you bring and what you fight you fought for you not to use that money. Some of you are fighting for wanting not to come to your place. That is what you are doing. You are preventing your poor people not to see the better thing. Some of you that are flying abroad Ghana treatment, you are preventing your people not to see a good hospital or not to receive a good treatment. You see it? You see it? It is only your children that are going to high institution. They call a year when they go to woman. I go to the Paloma Takrivan. Each of you, one day gas school. Then they the government are not paying their workers. Those also pay or then are they not government that pay for that? Make that equip it very well. You will be John you see how people how wicked these people on there. None of them can just stay one. I don't know them. I'm not looking at some of our people. Hey, the more you look, the less you see. It's a many instances. Nimo State, number one. It's a one order. Ndara, they were at college. As long as this concrete concern is more matter than that. Is one matter. I don't know it's one matter. No politician is a good person. Because the country all I can look at the is on one way to a pastor. Or you think that somebody from there can become a pastor. No, not pastor. Pastor is just outlining the man cannot be a good person because one, pastor will do our place in that is just a camouflage, man. So you don't expect anybody to come out from a corrupt place. It is impossible. In Holland, mother half mother Gamu repented or Mango. Is it possible? It can't. Because the country is already corrupt. So if you think that you are coming to change the narrative, it's not possible. Because if of them who are there, they all are corrupt. If we can give reason why you like one of them, get the marble. All we can give reason one body. You like one of that. One hour is one mother. The village is one city to shape and back. Touch a massa. One area automatically. Who imagine at area. Please, for those that want to call us, our line now, you can call and contribute whatever you want to contribute. I have come to discover that some people say that can manage well. When you make it here, let me tell you, you may plan again how these politicians have been wasting your life, wasting some of the talent. You just turn them to death in a way. How you how join their name? About some people need the name away later. About for the name because of non-good governance. One female. Those people that are dying because of our female, putting that like together with our own life female. No, it is your people, your government, your politicians are making them to die because of their selfish interests. Most of the times we go to church and pray, then the mama, what is being with progress, one part of the village and then no.
If I don't, there is nobody that will give us our land back. It's way Biafra that we did get our land back. And now I give you a assurance. We take this land and belongs to our ancestors to political paradise, which every woman is. And we are the children of our ancestors. And we are here to get our land back. And then the land is Kanu. The Kanu is our territory. Our desire, our desire, get them everything. Every woman can pray. And then they pray their hunger. So, all together, and this one, I will not agree with you, get it to me. This place I might say conversation. And then that's it. This is what it is. This is not anymore. And please, don't think that this is
Biafra, we had. Thank you so much, our beloved brother Kuchikuishika. We are back to the business. Let me tell you one other thing you don't know. Come on, again, also. All of them know under agreement to do the prayer. Which you will require. Other day, me, when you put to Kuyara, that is why I am the country. That is why I am the country. Okwanenga bumulishi. Yedo wani engagement. You file log the alliance bottom mad. You are buku itiya ukweba. That is what we are. I don't want the Babu release our leader. In not the Kanu Jikano no one Makaloni. Oh, one you from an organ of that. Woman, I go about one. My little George. Why you see that the more life can these people will come and this house are the ones will come and take them. One they see all of you as charlatans. I don't hate you for you do that. Down there. When I'm not we are more. Into my boon. Probably one of them was say, Papa, all you that or he is 1 month from your own people. Only when you key the last one before, Mazi Nnamdi has changed so many narratives regards to the people. But they are more than dodgers, no one. Which, okay, ladder and dodger on the maybe a leave. I didn't give a don't know. God and Yeah, they ya mama Nnamdi kumafia osolo gani akula. Oh man, I do say. After all the na ESN and the Kanu farm by now, exactly. All the sacrifice, this young man who sacrificed their and Biafra, in fact, I want to and at the end of the Biafra becoming a Biafra, and I will take your part. In that, being the Sunnah, to the one line so ya mama wannan Yusuf ko da kwage ya mama duka ne funi ke fufa ale kelele malile ndikira ani kelele malile ndikira no la mama lo konsita kila bunga ne ge chikota aku kai lile mama because this is where we are going to draw the curtain for today. Ada mesi mozo ya marono kuma marono tamma. Asa mabla mo an lo maya bramane. La ne kula ban boda mo lo na ndega gidi woni na naga. Semun du mun ras mun ya kapan na da rasu mu panna. Tine kenyara na ka daga hande ko waraga. Kenyara na ka tani mata hade bataloso. Manandari pirana lagare. Wapu kwa ko zo molo. Ado na hande na hinya. Mala sunde mun kana mun amge posi. Tade de maloze me kura gawa. Asimo nya honta ta hobayiki. Ya mara mo kuma mara wa de ma. Ya mara le mo lo mbe ko me mara do me bera de ma. O bla hande chota kana mo o me bre. Ya mara ko ma bre tamma. Asin de ka ya mara malo pachita. Ono na ono nga ma. Pero un tire mo tu eso mara kwa me ya. Na malo no ba. Do tire mo de ma.
Thank you, Mazi, for your program today. And we will open the phone line now. +1 484 767 0848. Tomorrow will be Thursday, and waiting to happen. And you have Mazi Lekima will be with us tomorrow. Distractions. Distractions. What are they? Distractions are when you leave the things you're supposed to do and then you face something irrelevant, something that has nothing to do with what we're doing. That is a distraction. And you have a topic, you have an issue, pressing issue. You leave it to go after something that is not relevant. Even if it is relevant, it's not the turn. Okay, Erube. That is distraction. We are fond of that. Yeah. We are pointing all these things out so that we are learning. We are learning. That's all it takes. We learn. When we learn, we show that we are understanding what is happening to us. Everyday preaching, we have to show that we understand what we are going through. Killings. These are the things that used to happen in the north. And we say it will never happen here. My brothers, they are happening here. They are happening in our villages. It will never happen. They are happening. Are we in denial? Of course, I might assume so, despite the revelations made by our leader. Overconfidence. Those that are after us are after us at all cost. They are after us at all cost. What remedies? Stop calling on IPOB. Stop calling on ESN. Stop calling on DOS. Stop calling on HOD. Ask and tax yourself. Then you know exactly what we're doing. When these two things are void, you're looking for a free ride. And those free rides have been given to you by IPOB, by the DOS, by the HOD, by the ESN. It makes you sit on the fence. It makes you undecided. Because those that are your sacrificial lambs are reliable. Anytime you want a sacrifice, you go to DOS, you go to HOD, you go to IPOB, you go to ESN. Meanwhile, you run around unconcerned. Nobody is a fool. Our people, Biafrans, can we stop and look back as to where we are coming from, where we have been, and where we are headed? In the absence of our leader, what are we capable of doing? From his teachings, what did we learn? These things are very common. It's like when we used to be in elementary school. There are some teachers that come to substitute for regular teachers. Those are the teachers that are being trained from women training colleges. You appreciate them, you welcome them, and you're tired of looking at your old teacher. And then she will stop and say, oh, have you all been taught this? Half of the class will say yes, half will say no. And one day the teacher was there. She did not leave the class when the trainees came. And they say, have you been taught this? We looked at our teacher. Some said yes, some said no. And the teacher said, huh? You mean I did not teach you this? Oh, yes, yes, you did. Why did some say yes, some say no? Those that understood what the teacher said agreed. Those that did not understand what their teacher taught them said they have never learned it before. That is what we are dealing with. Those that understood our leader stood by him. They are still believing in him. They still stand by him. Those that did not understand are those that have spongy legs. Anything you say to them is strange, is new. Any newcomer is another opportunity. They will discard the old and run to the new. And then they expect the same result. It doesn't happen that way. Call number +1 484